Hello, humans. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Esther, and I'm inviting you to join me on the journey. We all love a journey, don't we? Basically, I'm sort of tired of being poor. So, hmm, this is hard. It's not hard when I'm in the flow of things. I'm actually really good at talking and I have a lot to share, and I'm a great storyteller. But this is my first video podcast attempt. I hate the fact that we all want video podcasts now. I think it's a ridiculous idea. I think the beautiful thing about podcasts was that if you had an idea or a thing or you wanted to express something, you could just press record in your studio and you could just boom, go. You could be in the bath, you could be in your pajamas. And in fairness, I suppose you still could. But now everyone wants to, well, not everyone, I don't watch podcasts, but people want to see clips and want to see people. And I'm like, man, now I'm gonna do my makeup, like get dressed, and some days I probably won't, especially if I'm doing this regularly. There's no way I'll bother every time. Probably I'll just be like, I am human. This is my face. Deal with it. Um, but I'll make a bit of an effort for the first one. Do you know? Do you know? But people treat you differently when you're like made up and well presented. You know, I noticed this recently. Like I popped into I was hosting Battle of the Bands, and on my way in, I had to pop into the shop, and people holding the door open for me, people offering to go before me, and smiling at me. And I'm like, oh. I had like heels on. I was dressed quite nicely, and I suppose I felt quite good because I hadn't worn makeup in a while. So yeah, and then obviously when you're in your tracks, like I think people presume, oh, she doesn't want to be. People don't want to be bothered when they're in their like ugh clothes. It's probably true, actually. But yeah, the pretty privilege is a real thing. So, a little bit of my backstory to kind of share with you is that making money has always been a bit of a weird thing for me. Like the concept of having to go out and make money is still something I'm grappling with, or the idea that someone should kind of pay for my services or my talent or anything that I can offer. It's like, you mean like business, you know, when you do something for someone and they should pay you for it. And let me tell you why. Like, I've had to do a lot of work in changing my relationship with money, in my understanding with money, trying to just change my mindset that it is possible for me to get money and one day actually not live on welfare. Because right now I'm a single mom, and I do have a great baby daddy, but he's got his own stuff going on. And financially, I'm just always just scraping by, and always broken things in the house that I've just sort of learned to live with. Every now and then someone will come over and be like, "Oh, you should get that fixed." And I'm like, "Oh, I'd forgotten that was broken. I just kind of learned to live without that." Um, but there's too many things now. And gonna take a lot to fix all of them. Um, but yeah, but I've been struggling to kind of envision how could I possibly have a career that could pay me something substantial enough to survive without sort of that security of the government with the housing assistant payment and kind of the welfare for while I'm sort of mostly full time taking care of Ezra. So yeah, and okay, so like the obvious thing is just get a job, like duh, just go get a job. You know, you're not stupid. Go get a job. And I'm like, I hear you. I am not stupid. I can pretty much do anything. I don't want to though. And for the longest time, I've been much rather be poor and happy than kind of working full time and stressed out, because I have quite a severe history of mental health and physical health. I have many health conditions that I'm sort of recovered from mostly, but that have meant that most of the time in my life I haven't been able to work full time or at all. Or what I have been working with has been kind of voluntary based or charity work. So going back to my relationship with money and why it is so weird is because I grew up as a missionary kid, which basically meant that my parents and my family were sponsored by individuals within a charitable organization to do meaningful work. Now they worked, but they had no like clock in, clock out. There was no sort of concept of exchanging payment. It was sort of an ongoing vision, an ongoing project that between them looking after kids and looking after each other and doing the work and doing the rest and having events with the community, it was all sort of just existing, and they got their costs kind of tallied. And when they needed to get more support, they would go out and fundraise, and they would look for more supporters, sponsors, to support the work that they were doing. And presumably it was good work, or enough people believe in that work that this was a thriving worldwide charity. So, when our income was going down, it wasn't like, oh, we need to work harder or get a promotion. It was, oh, we need to go and get some more sponsors. And then growing up in school, my physical health was so poor that eventually I was only doing school part time. I apologize. Um, it's just a burp, though. It's just not a big deal. Let's just stop apologizing for bodily functions that you cannot help. I mean, trying to get back on my point, otherwise I'll go on a whole side story about my son and bodily functions, and we don't need that right now. Another time, though. I love oversharing about my kid. He's the best. He's actually the best. I love him so much. He's actually really awesome. I miss him. No. So missionary, yeah. So I grew up in a missionary kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, and so in school I was not even in school full time. And at another time, I'm sure I'll go into some of my health problems and how I recovered from them, because, I've got a lot of wisdom to share there and a lot of overcoming stories and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, eventually, I went to college. I did the performing arts thing. That was my background, which is really dumb, but that's what I was good at and that's what I love doing. But you can't do that with health problems. You have to like be really healthy and work really hard. So I actually ended up just getting married and going to South Africa and being a missionary as well, which again gave me that kind of lifestyle of, we had our sponsors, we had enough people to pay us, and obviously pounds into South Africa rand was pretty good. So we were okay, and we had projects, and I was mostly a housewife. I had pretty severe chronic fatigue, anxiety, all these other issues. But we did our projects, we were involved in the bigger mission. I'm not going to get into what it is right now. And then in time, we ended up trying to move to England and then into Ireland, and separating, and in the middle of a divorce now after we've been separated 5 years. Again, so many stories, but another time. But yeah, so basically I've always lived off of being a housewife, charity, my parents, the government, welfare, because my skills and career in the performing arts have never been reliable, and I've never had the health to kind of work hard enough at it to make any real progress. Now, along the years, I've had kind of freelance jobs. Like I've worked for a choir, and I've worked as a dance fitness instructor, and I've worked at summer camps, and I've done jobs. Like I'm fairly now experienced in the world of, I suppose, events and consulting and hosting, performing. I've got quite a lot of experience now. I'd consider myself, I won't say a big success, but I'd consider myself, I can bring something really valuable to an event or a performance in many different medias, genres, fields. Yeah. And when I did try and do a normal job, I worked at a cafe for a bit. I was crying every day. I'd probably be okay now, in fairness. Um, but the nature of cafe and jobs here is quite like shift work and shop work. It's all very. I've noticed they only give you a schedule like the night before or maybe 2 weeks in advance, and it's really not compatible with taking my kid to school every day and doing extracurricular. And my son is autistic, and we need to put in some extra supports there. And he kind of needs me at a level that other 7-year-olds might not need their mom there all the time. So and I care a lot about my parenting. I care a lot about investing in my son. I don't want him in full-time childcare. For me, that's just not a lifestyle. Or I want to influence the culture that my son grows up in. So that just means that I'm with him, taking him to activities or spending time with him homework at home or organizing play dates or, being intentional but being present. Because I think it's so important, especially, I don't know, everyone says always, especially now. It's always especially now, but especially now with young boys and the world, that there's a lot of lost young men and there's a lot of lost people. But the men are the ones killing themselves at a higher rate, and I do not want that for my boy to grow up in a world where just because he might be a straight man, that he's not going to get the kind of support and validation for his emotional well-being. So um, he's also really charismatic, and he doesn't know this, but he can make anyone do anything. So I really need to raise him to make sure that he's doing good things, because people are going to listen to him. People already do. So so yeah, which brings me to, yeah, okay, I do a bit of cleaning here and there, and I do events and I do some odd things, just try and get a bit of cash coming in every now and again. So I've built up a lot of experience in many different areas, and I know I could do anything, but I choose not to do things that I know are going to fuck with my head and mess up what I've got going with me and Ezra, because that is priority number one. And money is great, and we do need more of it as he gets older, but it's not the key to happiness. It's not the key to peace. It's not the key to resilience and learning and all these sort of qualities that I've learned without money. But I'm healthy now, and I have the capacity to work harder. I have the capacity to manage more now that I've had this time to get healthy, and I'm ready to, put in the work. And I'd always thought, nah, I don't, oh, this social media thing, oh, it's too late. Everyone's doing it. No one will be interested in me. But then I meet people in real life, and lots of people seem quite interested in me and tell me I have a really interesting story. And I'm like, yeah, I suppose I do. And I have a lot that I would like to share. And then, but I also thought, oh, but then I'd have to feed the algorithm and I'd compromise on my authenticity. And I just want to be so authentic. And eventually I was like, you know what? The job is a job, work is work. No human is authentic all the time, at every moment. We all wear masks, we all perform certain roles in certain places, and that is normal and necessary. So, I want to be my full authentic self with my son, with my closest friends, with my community, and I do want to be authentic online as well. But that doesn't mean I can't learn about the algorithms and about social media and what gets views and how to monetize content. That's a skill. Just because I've learned a skill and I'm trying to actually get paid for a skill doesn't mean that I am not authentic in the journey and in what I'm producing. So, but because I have so many passions and so many visions and so many, particularly shows and stories and music that I want to tell, but my schedule and my capacity, like I can't be going out gigging every night, which is what I would love to be doing, but not more than I would love to be with Ezra and with him at bedtimes. So I need something that I can manage my own schedule, that I can kind of do it anywhere, and that feeds my creativity and my desire to connect with people and build community. And I'm like, you know what? Social media is not a bad place to kind of make that happen. So I did some learning. I got over myself. I changed my mindset, and I am on the way. Um, so feel free to follow along. I'm going to try and do a podcast kind of once a week, and then I'm going to do a post once a week. I'm going to be then doing reels twice a day, hopefully. Um, and at the moment, we're basically just doing handstands and strength stuff because it's really enjoyable for me to do, actually, and it's a challenge. And I think people love to see kind of growth, and I think especially slightly bigger girls, it's nice to see that you don't have to wait till you're lost weight, or you don't have to wait till you've got no fat left on you in order to be strong, and achieve these kind of things. So I think, it offers encouragement, and stop waiting till you've lost weight to have fun. um and that's something that I learn again and again. You learn it and then you forget it and then you have to relearn it again and just keep that mind in check. Yeah. On the other side, like I said, I would have loved to have been doing gigs like with music and comedy because, I can be very funny sometimes. Um, I'm very funny. I'm not feeling very funny right now, so I won't be funny now. But I love entertaining people. I love finding jokes in things, especially dark things, which is not for everyone. I get it. Some people might find me a bit blunt, a bit offensive. And I'm like, that's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. Just don't listen to my jokes then, or just ignore me, you know? You don't have to come back for more. But if you do enjoy what I do, you can come back for more. And if you would like to support me in any way, obviously commenting really helps, interacting with the posts and just following along, clicking the follow button on whatever thing you find me on, whether it's Spotify or Reels or YouTube eventually. Um, that would really, really help me very much because I need help. I do. I need help. And by the way, you're allowed to ask for help. You see the way I'm asking you for help? And obviously, if everyone that I know doesn't help me, I'm going to feel personally rejected by every single person I know now. So I've set myself up for 1,000 heartbreaks. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I know some people I know won't even see this. I know some people will just forget to like or follow it. I know some people will be like, I just don't follow things. But if you do follow things, and if you do see this, and if you do like me, or find anything I share of value, then please do support and click that like follow. And then know that you are also allowed to ask people for help or to do something for you if you would like them. I feel like, especially in Ireland, like, you just really try not to take up space. Don't ask for anything ever. And I've seen kids ask for something. I've seen kids be given something as a gift, and I saw the mum be like, "No, no, give it back, give it back. How dare you? How dare you receive something good? No, 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 no. We don't deserve that. No." So, you do deserve that. You deserve many good things, unless you're a dickhead, in which case, be better. But you're allowed to ask. You're allowed to receive good things, and you're allowed to take up space and just try and make sure that the space you're taking up is contributing something to someone, or at least healing yourself at least while you're healing yourself and taking up space, try not to like shit all over the people around you. But if you do you know what, there's there are people whose job it is to clean up shit, and that's the wonderful thing about living in this time, is that there really is actually a lot of available content and resources and support to help, because there's a lot of us who have been creating a lot more shit than we have the capacity to handle or deal with or clean up. And you are not in it alone. Okay? And I'm hoping that what I can contribute to the world will be a little bit of help towards cleaning up the shit that is become too overwhelming for you on your own, maybe. I like that. I don't know if it made sense, but I like that. And now I'm going to get going. I'm hosting Battle of the Bands, and I'm looking forward to it. So press the like, follow, share button, and I'll see you next week. Mwah.